Chapter 5, My Visible Friend. There were about 10 million meetings and letters home about my peculiar and disruptive behaviour at school assembly. Mrs. Sass decided that the problem was I had poor social skills because I was an only child. He doesn't mix with the other children. He's an isolated figure on the playground. Wouldn't you be an isolated figure if people followed you around shouting, "Sir, Sir," or "Wolverine," or yelling, "Hello up there," 1,000,000 times a day? I mean, what did they want me to do? Shrink? Dad said, you need to try and make some friends. I've got lots of friends. I've got 20 guild members just waiting to do my bidding. I'm talking about real life, not computers. I don't accept that distinction. That's exactly my point, said Dad. You need a friend who is visible to the naked eye. The point about World of Warcraft is that the players don't know how tall or short or fat or thin you are. They just accept you for what you are. Namely, in my case, a highly skilled night elf with healing powers. This wasn't enough for Mum and Dad, so they sent me to the Little Stars drama group every Saturday morning. Lisa, the girl who ran it, didn't seem impressed with my poor social skills. She sucked her teeth and looked me up and down and said, "We're really a children's theatre group." "He's 12, said Dad. "What? Mental age?" "No, physical age. And mental, I suppose. He's 12. Mentally, physically, emotionally, the lot. He's just a bit tall and stubbly." Oh, she looked like she didn't believe him. I showed her my passport. "He's a clever lad," said Dad. "He's gifted and talented." "He's not exactly a little star though, is he?" said Lisa. "I suppose if we did the big friendly giant, he'd be perfect." So she smiled. Why don't we do that then? So we did. Florida Kirby was already a fully paid up little star. Lisa gave her the part of the giant's friend, Sophie. The Sophie in the play, Florida said, was named after Sophie Dahl, the supermodel. So when I play Sophie, I'm playing a young supermodel. Florida always has to be a celebrity. When Lisa made us do the role play in which we had to act like we'd seen a ghost, Florida saw the ghost of Britney Spears. When we had to pretend to be a dog, she was Madonna's dog. As we walked through the Strand the first day, Florida kept practicing her lines on me. The lines were mostly things like, "You're huge," "Goodness, you're tall," or "You're proper gigantic." And she said them all in her best little star's loud and clear voice. She sat down on one of the benches by the water feature just to be a little bit less tall for a while. "If we sit here," said Florida, "security will come and chase us. They hate kids hanging round this bench." They hate kids, really. But security didn't come and chase us. In fact, one of them walked past us and nodded at me. "What's going on?" said Florida. "They think," I explained, "that you are with me and that I'm your dad." "No, you're kidding. Do they? Do they? Honest?" "Yes. But this is brilliant." And she was right. We could do anything. So we did. That Saturday and every Saturday from then on, we played on the lifts, messed about in the photo booth, went into total games and tried out all the new releases. We even went into news and booze, which is strictly no unaccompanied children under any circumstances. Florida loved it in there because she could browse through all the celebrity magazines while I bought a newspaper to make myself look more dadly. Sometimes she used to give me £1 before we went inside so I could buy her a chocolate. I said, "Buy your own chocolate." Girls do not buy their own chocolate when they're out with their dads. Dads buy it for them. She even tried to get me to buy her cigarettes. Dads don't buy their children cigarettes. My actual dad would. He'd do anything for me. He's going to buy me a pony. Ask your actual dad then. Once I went in there without her and the woman behind the counter said, "Where's your little princess today then?" How much did Florida love that when I told her, princess is brilliant! You have to call me princess. I don't think so. Why not? My dad calls me princess all the time. We'll talk about this another time, I said. Whoa, you really sounded like a dad when you said that. Thanks. Another time, she brought her little sister Ibiza with her. Oh, another one, said the woman in News and Booze. I didn't know you had two. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it's lovely to see a young dad spending time with his girls the way you do. And they're both a credit to you. Aren't you lucky girls to have such a good dad? And she gave them a chomp bar each. It was a golden time, and maybe we should have stopped there. But if you play a lot of games, then the moment you get good at something, that feels like level 1. And you start itching to level up. One day, Lisa had to finish early because her dad was ill. We could have spent the time in the Strand doing all the usual things, or we could have used the extra time to look for level 2. The 61 stops right outside the Parish Hall and goes all the way to Liverpool City Centre. So there it was, the way to level 2. Being a grown-up in the Strand was fun. Being a grown-up in Liverpool's celebrated city centre was totally cosmic. The moment we got off the bus, a woman in a white miniskirt and a red sash came up and said hello and gave me a free sample of a new yoghurt drink. Here, she said, have a couple more for your little girl. We hadn't even finished drinking them when another woman gave me a free newspaper. And another one, in a trouser suit, asked me at 5 minutes to answer some questions. The questions were mostly about how we had got to town and what our favourite shops were. Then were a few about what year I was born and what I did for a living. I gave them my dad's birthday and told her I was a taxi driver. She said, would you like to come in here with me and taste a new sandwich spread we're developing? And on which we'd value your opinion. She took us to a really nice room and gave us free sandwiches and fizzy water. Afterwards, we had to fill in questionnaires and we were allowed to keep the pens. Florida asked for more sandwiches. The woman in trousers suit laughed and said, I guess that's all the feedback we need. So can we have some more then? No. Which is how we ended up near the world famous waterfront. Looking in the window of the Porsche showroom, Florida said, that would be going too far, wouldn't it? Let's find out. I was getting that crispy new world feeling again. It was my first time in a car showroom. I'd never seen a car on a carpet before. It was like being in the living room of the posh car family. The cars looked smaller and glossier than they usually do. A man in a suit saw us come in and said, be with you in a minute, sir. Help yourself to coffee. There was a coffee machine and a plate of biscuits. Disappointingly, mostly plain